what to expect then? If even Reynolds is giving a little bit of respect to Rogue, you know they're a team to buckle down and really get the job done if it needs to be done. And Curly, I don't know about you, but I actually kind of leaned Rogue's way, but I think James actually made the best argument on the desk. I think there's no team that wants it more than Spacestation Gaming with a Reynolds that's going to be disappointed after a week showing in that second day at the major.
Yeah, I suppose. I made that same comment about FaZe not too long ago, and I got flamed for saying that they want it just as bad as everyone. I think everyone here wants it pretty badly. But for Rogue, I really question what type of Rogue we're going to get, right? And I feel like the ceiling is so high for this team, but it's that floor that I'm worried about. How low does that floor go for Rogue? How high can they get it? That's a first attack there that they just can't put away.
Well, Reynolds will try to go for a counterattack here and run into first killer on the backside of things. They get it back to the midfield, and now Sypical trying to drop it to his teammates. Goes to the outside here. The question of what part of the game do we feel like is going to define this matchup? Is it midfield contention? Is it pressure on either end? Is it the counterattack? I feel like, I don't know.
Yep.
Speed?
It has to be
okay,
speed.
Johnny.
No.
Well, Curly's right. Speed is your great X factor, and when you've got everybody on this pitch, first killer, Reynolds, Arsenal, Sypical on the follow-throughs, I mean, Turo, they all are incredibly quick to the play, and so at that point, if you're locked in and you're accurate, speed's your only determining factor of who gets there first. But if you take away the speed, to me, I think it's actually going to come down a lot to the corner challenge play. If you're able to just get it jammed into a spot, eventually you'll starve them out because everyone's just too consistent when it comes to the corner, and whoever's on offense there is going to hold an edge.
Well, and I say speed too, because when you look at the way Rogue wants to play this game, are we going to be playing at the pace of Rogue? Are we going to be playing at the pace of Space Station? And that's really going to, I think, be the defining factor of who takes this entire series here, because if Rogue gets their way, they're going to be playing up and down the field. First killer is going to be all around the ball. It's going to be relentless pressure. If Space Station gets this way, you're going to see a lot more control, a lot more methodical attack, the ball being brought down, players on the ground attacking. And it really is going to be an interesting battle between these two teams in that regard.
Well, Reynolds pushes into the box. Here comes Arsenal to an open net. Nobody's home. That's going to be goal number 1.
Can see Taroko as he comes into the goal line here. He's the rotation back. He's the third man, and look at Reynolds continue to play. Just pump him up onto the back wall there. Take it all away, and as you said, Corelli, the consistent control when they have the space. Arsenal with a nice trap and an easy turn in.
Yeah, I like that Arsenal didn't just rip that one on target. Bring it down. Easy shot to put away in Space Station. They get their way here. The first goal on the board.
Turo in the midfield will pick it up and send it to the SSG backboard. Runs into Reynolds and gets bumped by Turo. He's going to be loose on the way back in. Reynolds with the demolition. Taroko's all completely isolated, but he'll get up and block it. And now Arsenal to try and keep the pressure on. Loses the 50 on the wall. They'll have to try and pick up control at midfield, but Reynolds misses the ball just barely late there. And he'll have to take it out of his own back third.
He actually tipped it back into his corner. He didn't feel like turning around and fighting Rogue for possession there. Decided to take it with him into the corner to hold boost and, and take it from a different position. His first killer almost putting together a nice little chip shot. Not quite enough.
Well, here's Reynolds. And more pressure on the back line. Taroko gets up here. Now Sypical's going to have to reach for this. As he looks for the double tap, actually fakes him out. Turo puts a slow one. The change up will tie the game.
It was a little bit slow for Turo, but he finally got it in, and that was a great challenge from Taroko. Doesn't even care what SSG wants to do in the midfield. He'll just throw his body at it. Turo there to clean it all up. Taroko almost got that second touch to put it away. Rogue, answer back.
I like to feel... go for it, Wade. Go for it.
I was gonna say, I love him, Taroko, not touching the ball there by throwing himself up there like for the double tap. It just that he forces the defender. The defender has to challenge and just opens the gates wide open for Turo.
And I'm glad you both have a differing opinion on it, because I like to feel like I generally have a pretty good read on that, and I don't know if he was going for the block or if he missed it, as Arsenal's going to turn in the second goal here. Space Station Gaming able to rally back quickly.
Ooh, Arsenal, he's hyped. Look at the man shaking his head. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, says Arsenal. He knows what's going on at Space Station heating up here. That's a great play off the back wall. Played out back into the box, into the mix, and that's what you're going to get with Space Station Gaming. They'll work you in the corners, and they'll find those gaps and take advantage. They have the speed behind the players. I mean, the literal speed. And having that pass come across the box like that, uncontested, Rogue, just not there in time.
We'll see Sipical try to connect with Reddles here, and the cherry pick gives it to Arsenal in the midfield. Now onto the backboard. It's past one defender, but Turo out of goal will pick it up. Sipical with a response on the wall. His shot's going to be wide. And first killer clear it to the outside. Reddles now to try and challenge off the wall. Coming off the ceiling. Nice bump.
He's got great control of the pitch right now. I've been watching Reddles' camera for a couple minutes now. He's absolutely locked in terms of what needs to get done defensively at the midfield line. You're looking for a guy to stop Rogue on transition. He is getting the job pretty much every time. Throwing in some more disruption on the goal line, forcing Taroko to make a tough save. Demo on Arsenal, going to give Rogue a little bit of space to work here.
Oh, look at a small pass play there on the midfield line. Push up as well. First kill now trying to challenge Arsenal. A pogo stick over the top of him. 34 seconds left, though, here in game number 1. SSG holding on to that 1-goal lead. First killer through one, and now shot towards the goal. Taroko again will deny. And Rogue right now trapped on defense. They need to find a way out here in the waning moments if they want to force overtime.
Ooh, a lot of demos. That might do it.
There's Arsenal to the outside. Now they'll kill the clock, and actually Arsenal keeps it alive for a second. See if they get punished for this.
Oh my.
And they'll push it back into the box. First killer tries and runs in there. And Turo. What a way to end things there. Space Station take game number 1.
I think that was a pretty good game from Space Station. I think really, aside from the big challenge there from Taroko, they didn't feel a lot of pressure from Rogue. And Rogue, certainly, you know, I talked about the speed, the pace of the game being very important. I don't think Rogue is able to play at the pace they want to. They're not making Space Station feel that uncomfortable throughout this first game.
Yeah, a lot of great disruption as well, with a lot of physicality coming through on the goal line, and good solid boost control as well. I mean, Rogue never really starved per se in a lot of positions, but definitely having to contend with a lot of tough touches in and around the corners, up near the back wall, and never able to get past safely that midfield line. As I alluded to earlier, Reddles really playing an excellent midfield game in this first one. Strong start for Space Station Gaming. You gotta love that they came in locked in and ready to go, and that's always kind of been, for at least the last couple of tournaments, a bit of a hang-up for Rogue, a slow start, and you can't really afford one.
No, well, it's a question. Can you afford it more in this format than you ever could before?
True.
Yeah. You know,
I guess you have a little bit more
you
time.
can give them, you know, I don't think anyone wants to lose or be like, oh, okay, it's fine that we lost, but you get a little bit of slack if you happen to lose. Let's put it like that. And I think Rogue certainly do get a lot of chances here to heat up if they do start to fall behind.
well, we'll see how they bounce back here in game 2. Taroko dumps it down the midfield. Sipical will respond. First killer was trying to bump Sipical off of it and open the midfield line for his team to advance, and they will make it across and shoot from the corner. Taroko with the accuracy gets the first point of the game.
This is kind of a product of nobody in the midfield really being in a good position, because it just nobody has a lot of boost, so they're all kind of thinking about, I want to rotate back and grab that corner, and there's only one guy with boost in that situation, and he's on the opposite end of the pitch, seeing his two teammates there kind of next to the ball. And so Taroko, it's just like, I mean, if you're both going to focus on that corner boost, I'm just going to try and put a shot in.
And both players there in the corner, like you pointed out from Space Station, is exactly what Rogue wants. Here comes Sipical, the flick past everybody, and Space Station respond.
Man, watch him zone. Who is it? Arsenal here
Arsenal,
just goes downfield, finds Turn. Like, nah, buddy, see you later. That one's a free goal. Tie game.
That's the bread and butter for Space Station. You catch one off the wall, get the transition, and more often than not, they've always got somebody down there at that midfield line. They will always put the pressure on you, and they are one of the best teams in the world at converting 2-on-1s.
There's Arsenal to the corner looking for Sipical. Turo with a clear. Reynolds and the third man. Half a tank of boost. I think he got his... No, he didn't get his reset, it looks like. And he'll give it to Arsenal. And then bump first killer. Is this open? Oh, couldn't quite get it around the corner.
That was a tricky play downfield. Rogue, I think we're throwing off. We were throwing off. Didn't know if he had it. Look, the passing play. Arsenal puts it away, and Space Station on top.
Blindsided. They get so caught up here playing the corner defense. Taroko completely loses track of Arsenal. I mean, he's thinking he rotated out, stole the corner boost, maybe went back to the midfield line. Nope. He's still hanging out right there.
The Sipical is smiling about that. He's like, yeah, I did it backwards. I passed that one across back.
Yo, what a pass, too. And for the pass to get caught, man, what a play. Now Arsenal looking to try and do it again. Taroko this time going to beat him to the ball. And then a nice pass and extension in midfield to give Rogues more pressure. They keep it going, and Typical will pick up the barely wide shot. The turn throw is going to back into the box. Reynolds has to deal with it from his own corner.
And I think that's that passing play that we just saw, although a little bit slow, people running out of boost, is kind of what Rogue is shooting for here. They just don't have the pace behind it, and Space Station have done a good job at least controlling those boosts coming out of the Rogue side to not let them have that quick counterattack that Rogue so wants.
Double commit there from Rogue as well. And the midfield, you can tell they're antsy to get out of their own half, and here it comes all the way back down into that corner challenge game. You need to be able to string a couple of these together.
Just turn on to the back wall. Here's Typical out of his goal. I'll look for Arsenal on the outside to give him the pass back. No, sends it to the backboard, and First Killer will add pace to the ball, push it back to midfield. 2:45 approaching halftime of game 2, and Space Station hold on to a 1-goal lead. Get it, double taps it off the post for a tie game.
The roller coaster of emotion for this goal from Turo. It's like, oh, he missed it. Wait, he's got it again. What a shot from Turo.
I can't believe Turo put that away, and First Killer looks bored. He's like sad about it. I don't know. He leaned back in his chair. Rogue, huge game-tying goal there from Turo. Great work. Again, that counter. Space Station were spread out as they move back towards their side. Rogue cuts it out in the midfield, and all of a sudden, it's a chance for Rogue.
Here at halftime, Space Station trying to push back in and regain the lead. Off the ceiling, Typical. Still hold on to that flip. They'll get a block out of it. Now Reynolds in. Backs off the ball. Sees too much pressure in front of him. Lofts it in front of the goal. And Arsenal out in the corner. Back towards the net again. Gets it through First Killer somehow. And where is Typical? Coming up in the midfield. Arsenal quickly turns on this to keep the pressure on. Dropping in front of the box once more. So much pressure as First Killer and Turo, I think, bump into each other trying to defend here. Taroko will finally find a clear as Space Station gives him a moment to breathe.
Yeah, you're forced into these long clears when you're Rogue if you're not able to put the challenges together. I mean, you just have to give yourself the space to make a different read. And a nice little pinch from their own half. This is going to be a goal-scoring opportunity. First Killer going to rip it off the wall straight in. They catch Typical, I think, trying to catch the rebound. And he's kind of just floating into net afterwards.
And it was just out of reach for Typical. That one just bouncing past him, and First Killer can get downfield to put it away. That's a tough one to give up for Space Station Gaming. Rogue all the way from their own side, gets some good power behind it, and it gets past their last man.
I mean, you got to wonder if Typical's looking at that one, if he's worried that first touch is in, and that's why he jumps at it, because it's actually a pretty routine save, right? If you let it just bounce off the wall, if you can tell that it's off. But perspective is a dangerous thing to flirt with when you got a quick one coming down your way with just about 90 seconds left.
Might have been a situation of not realizing he was out of boost, or either way, the lack of boost making it catastrophic. Could not recover in any way. Now Taroko with First Killer, putting on more pressure, looking for a go-ahead, a security blanket here. 4-2 is Rogue starting to take control of game 2.
They certainly are, and it is that speed that you're seeing now, just taking the ball away. Typical couldn't get to it, didn't even challenge Taroko. Great work. He's playing phenomenal Rocket League here for Rogue. Here in these first couple games, only if to just keep the attack on, but also some crucial challenges from him for Rogue, and really racking up the score here in this second game.
Into the final minute, Arsenal under 1 to the outside onto the backboard. First Killer's got just enough of it, but will it actually do the deal? As Typical couldn't put it under. Reynolds gets blocked by First Killer. And man, the pressure from Space Station not giving up on this game in the final moments. Taroko gets an important touch, but it drops dangerous again. Arsenal,
he's everywhere.
Typical open. Now it's in.
Wow.
1-goal game.
Arsenal was an absolute wizard this entire sequence. Sure, his initial dribble doesn't get scored, but look at him still continue to battle after rotating through the corner, make another key block to stick it on the goal line, let his teammate come through and give him a chance. What a sequence from Arsenal.
That man was everywhere. He was working some magic through the midfield.
No!
And now off the kickoff, given up by Space Station. Rogue will get up by 2 again.
Oh, this is frustrating. Typical. He's on the cheat up. And I mean, of course he's going for the cheat up there as well. I mean, there's 39 seconds left. You need one more goal. Let's be aggressive, but just a catastrophic first touch.
Yeah, you really want to bring possession to your team right when you're down by 1, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with a cheat up there from Typical. It's just the kickoff happened to go perfectly wrong. I mean, he was pretty close to being able to recover it, but 2-goal deficit when you get one back like that. That's going to be disappointing.
Oh, they nearly cut it down to 1 again. That'll be first kill in the final 18 seconds. Arsenal over 1. Chasing it down, midfield pass. And Typical takes too long to gain control. First killer should be able to burn time off this clock. Arsenal's touch won't be good enough either. As the final seconds expire here, Rogue bounce back in game 2, tying up our first series 1-1.
Yeah, it's a much better game here from Rogue. Look, I think the challenge game was fine in the first game, but even better here in the second. And they were able to take advantage of a lot of quick plays that Spacestation gave up. I think Spacestation still played just fine. It was just that Rogue, I found those little opportunities to take advantage that I feel like only Rogue can. You think back to the first couple goals, Rogue were able to take advantage. This one right here, where there's 2 players right in front of the ball for Spacestation, low boost situation, but Rogue does a great job of finding that gap and putting it away.
And you gotta, like you said, I actually don't think Spacestation played a bad game here. It was, I mean, with Turo scoring goals like that, I mean, what are you supposed to do, man? It's like, oh, they missed it. It's still in. It's just like, okay. So Rogue converts a couple of quality chances, even if they were extremely unlikely to happen. But
I'm still amazed that that game went as in Rogue's favor as it did, given the transcendent play we were seeing from Arsenal. The amount there were 2 goals. There were 2 goals there, like in the back third of just like that super tight rotation in Rogue's half, managing to pass the ball across with that backflip touch from Sipical early on in the game, and then the passes we saw from Arsenal towards the end there. It's very surprising here that they allowed 5 goals despite being that strong on offense.
I think still an absolute money game for Spacestation, to be honest. Yeah, it kind of looks like you got blown out, but what are you going to do? And what a shot towards the back post, saved by Sipical. But the pressure really is on Rogue here. That was Spacestation's game to win, and Rogue really did steal it.
Yeah. And I think what we saw at the end of that game from Spacestation was exactly what we should see more of from them. Arsenal on the ball in the midfield, working a couple of players, finding each other in the pass. And that's where I think Spacestation really shined, and this is a great opportunity to show it again. Arsenal might just take it all the way if he can get around it. Unfortunately, gets away from him. And now here comes Turo back the other way. He's stopped up by Reddles.
And again, Arsenal really smart. He cut off there. He knows his teammate's going to pull out, so all he has to do is take it away from Rogue and keep them from building the pressure in that corner. Turo with a chance to put one in, top left corner, off the corner of the net. And Sipical going to take it to safety, but Rogue pressing.
Turo didn't actually. He had a very narrow shot window there, but it was open. If he hit the window, there was no blocking it. Just barely goes wide, and we'll stay scoreless here in the first minute and a half. First killer winning 1 challenge, but he goes to Reynolds in the mid, and he'll look to pass it up to Sipical, and it goes off Turo into the goal. What a play!
That's the passing play that you want to see out of Spacestation game. Look at the challenge from Sipical. Opens up the gap, sees it immediately. The pass from Reynolds is perfect. Spacestation on top.
That ball rolled perfectly out to Reynolds, and he just saw no one's coming to challenge me from the net. Just throw it at Sipical. He is going to bang this towards the goal. And when you see a passing lane that wide, I mean, it's criminal not to take advantage of it.
Reynolds is like, the disrespect from this team. They don't challenge me? Well, here, get punished then. Taroko to try and push it across midfield. And now, similar play here from Rogue as Turo's picking this one up, looking to connect with his teammates, but first killer's having to back off as Reynolds is putting pressure on him, and now trying to look for a counterattack. Spacestation again getting more and more control and pressure in enemy territory. They're holding on to the lead this time. Arsenal off the backboard. Turo will extend things at midfield.
It's the real thing that Spacestation is making quite difficult for Rogue. You'll notice a lot of times, if Spacestation wants, they haven't had anybody from Rogue coming up to challenge them and take them out of the ability to stick the ball on the hood, keep it close. Whereas when Rogue has been trying to break out of their own half, someone from Spacestation always in position, ready to make that as difficult as possible.
I think another thing that's really interesting right now from Spacestation, if we just go back 30 seconds or so from that clear from Spacestation, it was first killer and Reddles downfield. And first killer had to play both the ball and the player, but Sipical, he'll just put it away himself. Spacestation up by 2, doubling up.
Same problem here for first killer, rotating into net, trying to play both the ball and the player, but the problem is he's got no boost to actually make the play, so he has to let it bounce. I mean, if he's got 12, he can probably make that play.
That challenge, though, was so strong again from Sipical. He's done such a great job here in this game, winning big challenges that set up Spacestation for success. He's not even just winning the challenges. Spacestation are better off because of it. And here they come again, looking for that back wall, but can't get there in time. This is going to be dropped off by Sypical, turned away by Taroko. Spacestation still hunting here. Sypical drops it down and turned away again. And here comes Rogue.
Oh, Rogue gonna try turn throw. Oh, he beat him on the backboard, and they're finally on the scoreboard.
I think he missed it. Arsenal's headed back, and he took it up the wall. He wanted a nice clean angle and just off on the timing. Never quite got there. Rogue bring it back within one, and I don't know. You hate to see Spacestation give up one that they feel like they could have defended, because they are playing such a great game, but that's exactly what got them into trouble in the previous one. And here again, they break through. All Taroko's got to do is get this mid and kind of slows it down around the corner and lets Arsenal back into the rotation.
I don't think he knew if someone was in the net or not for Spacestation. He was looking for that bump and wanted to let the ball come across, but there was really nobody back for Spacestation, so it benefited Arsenal. And Spacestation do get out, but maybe only for the moment as Rogue trying to ramp back up.
Arsenal over Taroko. He's got both of his teammates on this side of the field with him, so not a full coverage here, and they might get punished for it. Typical did get back in time before First Killer's shot came through to the net. Now Taroko trying to keep control in enemy territory, gets it back to First Killer, who I believe picked up the corner. Boosty is going to go for the air dribble here. Arsenal gets in the way and turn Turo to pick it up in the corner. Taroko now for the shot, but Arsenal intercepts, and here comes the counterattack.
Oh, nice bump there. But still, Arsenal's sticking in the rotation there because he knows that's the gap that needs to be filled with 0 boost. And he makes one key challenge to buy his teammates time here and approach this from a much better position than just letting Rogue out on transition. I mean, this guy's being an absolute monster right now.
And that's what prevents Rogue from setting up multiple attacks. That's a good demo. Arsenal there on the save, and a bit clear for Spacestation is only as far as Taroko. See if he can find some space. A little back and forth, though, here in the final 20 seconds. Rogue not really finding a momentum. Here comes First Killer, though. The pass is going to get into the corner. Turo to tie it up with 17 seconds left.
We might finally have an overtime here. First Killer out to Turo. What a play. Oh, and breaks him over to the side. You saw Reynolds trying to scream across to block it, but not going to be in time. 17 seconds left here in Game 3.
Placement, the only thing that really mattered there on that shot. And Rogue, again, they give themselves a chance. You know, it feels like Spacestation playing the better game of Rocket League, but they're keeping themselves in it, and they find another way to fight back. Past the First Killer, denied by Sypical.
Oh, they're looking for the outfields again. 3 seconds left. Do we have overtime, or do they find the buzzer beater? This one's going to drop dangerous, but Arsenal's got control. And Turo will look to kill it here in the mid.
They kept it up.
Kept it up instead, actually. And does he get punished for it? Arsenal's in position to pass back down. They keep it alive. Oh, it's over to overtime in Game 3 on a close one.
It's a shame because Arsenal had like 7 boosts coming off the wall there. Maybe a little bit more. He could get it out just in front of his teammate. It didn't matter. It was a good attempt. And it was a second chance anyways because Turo kept it up. And we're into overtime.
Smart kickoff there from First Killer. Knowing there's no sense in trying to push this one forward. Just wanted Rogue to have the first possession. He wants to give his team the chance to set the pace. Spacestation's been driving it, and Arsenal is going to make another big stop on the goal line.
They have a First Killer. Look at the transition. Keeping control on his half. His teammates had fallen all the way back, so SSG will actually emerge with control here, but an excellent touch off the wall. About 39 seconds into overtime. Here's Reynolds. Got Arsenal lurking in front. Wins one challenge, and First Killer will just wait. Knows he's got some space. He gets the ball off to his corner.
That's a good clear from Turo. Arsenal's been the biggest problem to beat. Early on, it was Reynolds. And if Rogue just continues to poke that one touch past that initial challenge, they're going to find themselves in a lot better position.
How many times do you see a challenge by 2 players on both sides of the ball just completely kill the ball to a complete stop right there? But you know, that speaks to how good the challenge game has been, as that one almost dropped in for Rogue. Here comes Reynolds. Can he take it himself? Can't do it. Gets stopped by Taroko. Sypical looking for another Spacestation player, but only finds Turo. He's trying to get a hold of it. Lost it in the midfield. First Killer has to bail him out. Spacestation trying to get behind this one. This Rogue keep it awkward enough to keep possession, but that went straight to Reynolds. Maybe Spacestation. Reynolds himself, Taroko, to clear it away.
There you go. That's one mistake from Sypical there. He was in the right spot. It's just he got the wrong touch, and it's let Rogue out of the cage for free. Turo with a flip reset, trying to turn it in, gonna force Sypical up. Taroko to finish the job, and he just drops it towards the floor, doesn't square it up, and Space Station, chance to rally.
No, first killer did get that corner boost. And despite the shot being kind of directly at the defenders, it was directly behind them. So everyone from Space Station had to hit their brakes, and it's left them trapped for another 15 seconds here or so. Very starved out. So you can see the boost in the top corner. Reynolds going to try and get it across midfield, and Rogue will fall back a bit, take control. And Arsenal, the only player to pick up any boost. Now finally everyone getting a little bit more in the tanks. We're halfway into another game here. Rogue pressuring, trying to take the lead in the series.
And they just let him out there as well. Arsenal, that's a much needed clear. It buys all the time in the world for everyone on Space Station to at least get some boost in the tank and ready for a challenge.
That's a decent clear by Space Station, and there's been a lot of these balls that Rogue just don't immediately get back, and Space Station now taking advantage of that. Rogue, they play around with it a few touches in the midfield, and Space Station not having any of it. Reynolds, he can't get around. We're looking for one more. Here comes Typical right side, and Space Station take the lead.
Turo. He again gets caught rotating in here with only 12, so he thinks his best play is to actually head up the back of the net. And to be honest, it probably is. You'd like to keep up a little bit of speed, but I mean, Rogue just kind of collapsed right there at the end of that game. It's just floating in front of the net, and nobody's really in a good spot. Nobody really has a lot of boost, and it just kind of got hung. They really beat themselves, to be honest.
I felt like it was, I don't know, like the Reynolds challenge right before the shot was so ballsy. Coming off of the back wall, like, it's like, hey, I'm just gonna throw my car in front of the ball. You gotta come out after me. And from that point on, Turntro, he's got a very rough decision to make. And honestly, where the shot was placed, I don't know if that decision was gonna make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, if he sticks on the ground, like, maybe he makes it, but if he stays on the ground, he also has to hit the brakes, and then he's kind of facing at this weird, awkward angle, so he probably wouldn't have made it either way he went about it. But if I'm Rogue and I'm sitting here in this tactical timeout, I'm thinking, all right. I mean, we're losing the challenge game when it really matters. Like, occasionally, yeah, we're getting the good touches out and winning a couple and winning back to try and equalize possession, but when it comes to key blocks and keeping people on defense, Space Station with Arsenal and Reynolds and Sipical all doing a fantastic job of that. And that's really been the big difference maker. And the secondary factor is the ability to get control on your first touches. It feels like not First Killer, but Rogue in general. Whenever they take that ball up the wall, it feels like they're just going up a little bit too fast. And so when they're trying to take that ball with them off the wall to try and set up a play, they kind of get this squirrely touch because they don't have the best control of the ball. And they kind of get this suboptimal push, and they're not really able to set themselves up for a good challenge to stay on offense. And Space Station's kind of picking that apart too.
No, I absolutely agree with that second point. Is it does feel like Rogue's first touch in the midfield just seems to get away from, even outside of going up the wall. It just seems like a lot of poor touches, especially the second half of this last game. Everything seemed to be getting away from Rogue. They eventually got back onto the attack, but it just felt like it was too easy for Space Station to kind of read. And I think that, especially in this back half of the second game, Rogue were very predictable. And while Space Station felt some pressure from Rogue, obviously Rogue had some attacking chances, I think it was expected and predicted by Space Station. They were set up for it.
I feel like a bit of it is also maybe Space Station creating that sort of environment with positioning and boost management. Rogue is a team that thrives on chaos. Space Station is a team that we've heard from other players plays a very consistent, quote-unquote, boring style of Rocket League. But yeah, the air dribble, bump, score. Reynolds puts another one in.
Zero things boring about this. It's a nice dribble and the classic 1v1 play, and he was still first killer. He almost got there.
He almost got there. It smacked off the post. That's a great play by Reynolds, especially isolated last defender. It only benefits you as the attacker to go for a play like that. Because even if the last defender there in first killer gets a touch, Space Station can still collapse on the ball. It's weak, and Space Station can get back to it. So that was a great choice by Reynolds and a great execution of it. Now here comes Sipical. He'll just take the shot, and it's 2-0 just like that.
We're piling on here. Sipical passing to himself with just no pressure. Turntaro so late to that ball. And it was just the chaos created from the recovery on kickoff. No one able to get to it in time. 2-0 Space Station.
Quick start in a potentially series-defining game.
Yeah.
And Rogue, do you think, well, we took the timeout and come out here to an 0-2 start. Not exactly the one you're looking for, but you can see there Turo going for a little bit more control. But when you both get demoed, it doesn't make a difference. Thankfully, the shot is wide. Rogue with a chance to rally here, but To be fair, Rogue hasn't really been blown out of any of the games yet. They've always kept themselves, with a decent chance at finding opportunities to get back in the game, and that does have to be one thing you give them credit for. They're not letting Space Station just run right through them.
Statistically, it's actually incredibly important that Rogue not let in this third goal that nearly has happened like 3 times in the last 30 seconds. Coming back from a 3-0 deficit, very difficult at this level.
To be fair, it should have gone in. Sypical just completely missed the ball. It was a tough angle, but the net was pretty much open with that Reynolds bump. So for Rogue, they're at least happy to be sitting at 2-0 down instead of 3-0, but maybe they can get one back. So Arsenal wants to take this one into the air, met by Turinturo. It's a good challenge here. Can Rogue put something together? Turo wants to take it himself, no boost. He'll be shut down by the first defender, but the first killer keeps it alive. Taroko trying to put it in a dangerous spot. The Space Station perfectly positioned on the out. And maybe not the second touch, though, as Rogue back on attack.
Dotting it. Space Station right to each other on defense. Always finding the first touch to a teammate. It's so effective at getting them out of their own half quickly and efficiently. And Rogue has just not had the same level of positioning when it comes to that type of play. First killer in an awkward spot here, and he actually played that brilliantly. I mean, you get caught rotating into the near post and it goes right past you. No need to panic. Swivel right back around. Make sure you get the big part of the car behind the ball and make the right touch. It's highly unlikely you're beat in that scenario.
Turn off the wall. And it has been a series of marginal pixel level plays here as again, Turinturo has to flip off that as first killer calls him off of it. Taroko will try to pick up this ball, sends it towards the goal. First killer creating chaos, not going to be enough. Reynolds still makes the save.
First killer still wants a piece of this defense here from Space Station. Off the ball, comes clean. Taroko opts not to go, and it might have been the smart choice. Everyone had to get back for Rogue. He could commit too hard on a half chance. Rogue, plenty of opportunities still here in this game. Another ball played off the back wall. Turinturo getting a couple touches, and Taroko can't win the challenge. Here comes Reynolds, quickly up for it. He's met by first killer on his back wall.
First killer doing a much better job in giving himself a look at the double touch to break out of their own half. And Taroko trying to chop that straight sideways for first killer. Big demo, can he make it? No, so close.
That might have been the best option, too, for first killer. I don't know if he could have got back to it. Maybe he might have.
No, had the demo.
Yeah.
He was coming straight through the line.
Yeah.
If he drives straight at the ball, he's just in the one spot where you can't influence it away from your goal. So
no, it's not even close. And unfortunate that he couldn't get back to the ball. Got the demo, but didn't really matter. Space Station now, like you said, Wave, in a great position here. Unless first killer works a little bit of magic off the kickoff. Rogue need one here as fast as possible.
Whoa, what? So first killer actually, he made the wrong touch there. He actually made the wrong first touch to chop it towards the net. That causes his teammate to leave because the first touch should be straight out into the middle towards a teammate. But since it goes toward the goal, the second man's thinking, I don't have to be here. And then first killer gets the recovery effort, and he's trying to just pull the string on Reynolds. And I mean, Rogue has the right idea at the wrong time. And it's just, it's so close to being good.
I love that little play that we just saw while Achieves was talking. Reynolds sitting in his net or off the goal line, buying time and not attacking as fast as he possibly could to make sure that the attacker doesn't go towards the ball. And the attacker on the ball is playing it slow, waiting for the man in front of him to get the bump. So both players slow playing it ends up Space Station's favor, and they get out of it.
Man, 25 seconds left, though. Down by 3. Rogue with so many tantalizing opportunities in this final minute. None of them gonna become a reality. 15 seconds left, and this one gonna be over. Space Station gonna take the first series in our set, and they'll be feeling confident going into the second one.
Especially after this game. I was just going to say, especially after this game. I mean, this is Space Station's best game. Even without any massive highlight plays, it still feels like Space Station played exactly the way Space Station wants to play. They made Rogue uncomfortable. Rogue did not have opportunities like they normally do, especially catching Space Station on the counterattack. That really didn't happen. In fact, it was mostly Space Station catching Rogue on the counterattack. And for Space Station, everything went according to plan this final game.
And for me, I think Space Station just straight out-thought and out-executed Rogue. I'm not going to say they outplayed Rogue. I think they were just in better spots more often and made the correct touch. And overall, across the series, that's going to lead to a win.
Yeah, I agree. I think that you see the great demonstration there at the end. First killer, 2 different opportunities where he's got all of the mindset and the mechanics to out-position the player that's challenging him to pop the ball over them, but then doesn't have the boost or the teammate positioning to finish off the goal. There's so many things that go into making a good spot in Rocket League there, and SSG just coming up with more of them more often, creating them more often. They'll come up with the win here in the first series. So, Series 2 just around the corner. The players are on the pitch, and we'll be getting going here in just a moment. We said over here in the casting booth that speed was going to be what defined the series, and I'm not going to lie. I feel like Rogue got the speed they wanted, and Spacestation said, we don't care.
Yeah, you might be right about that one, honestly. You might be right about that one. And I think Spacestation, they were bending quite a bit in that game, and not necessarily in a bad way, because I think a lot of times we use that term in a bad way. My goodness, what is that from Reddles coming out on the dribble right off the bat? Just take it up himself.
What is that?
I just realized I was muted, but
Cheese was saying wonderful things, chat. No,
Reddles is good.
very good. The initial flick is enough, but then to follow through and get a dunk on the second player? Oh my god.
And I think actually Daz, he made a great point from the desk where he's like, the rotations need to get fixed. Because yeah, we were talking a lot about control on your first touches from Rogue, and that's what we wanted fixed. But he's also right. When Rogue got on offense, it was a little bit divey, trying to just get there and beat Spacestation to the ball. So that gets sorted out as well. They'll also find themselves in a lot better positions.
We'll see.
What a way to start for Spacestation 2. I mean, when we talk about Rogue taking that timeout in the previous series, Spacestation came right out the box, 2 goals up, bang. Should have been even 3, honestly. Here comes another shot, big save from First Killer, and right now, Turo's got a 1v1 here as he plays it over to the side, but Spacestation all over Rogue right now.
This is something we talked about at the end of the last series, picking your spots a little bit better. You see there an opportunity of a 1v1 with Turo going straight down the middle into a defender, but Turo had no boost and no speed with him and the ball in his own half, and still was like, you know, I got to go for this. I got to go for this. This opportunity looks too juicy, but it wasn't actually that juicy, despite it being a 1v1. Maybe picking better spots, and compare that to what we saw from Reddles in game number 1 of the series, where he picks up the ball in midfield and actually chooses to play it back to his own corners. Like, let's go back and get boost. Let's just create this isn't a good situation. Let's make a better, successful spot for ourselves, and it's worked out for them so far in the series.
Oh, what?
Oh, what?
How did Typical not pull this off? I mean, it looked pretty good. There was definitely a bump on the goal line. He goes up the wall. He doesn't really lay in cleanly, and I don't know. I think Typical jumping up onto the wall there is actually really what kind of did him in. I don't know why he jumped up onto the wall. Maybe also thinking maybe the demo was coming for him, but that wasn't the cleanest landing, so he never really got a clean look at where that ball was headed off that touch.
Coming off that post there, a little awkward as well. Like his front wheels kind of hung off for a second, and then he went after it. So kind of strange there. But here comes Spacestation again. That's a good drop down. Arsenal kick it. 20 drops on top of it instead, and Spacestation take the lead.
The Galaxy brain. Look at this pass, and then Arsenal's like, nope, see you later. Bounce it off the ground.
Jeez. Mr. Magic Man, Arsenal.
He really has been in these last few games. I mean, even the last series, he was working Rogue through the midfield on his own, and he's been tricky. He's been throwing a lot of fakes when he goes up into the air. I think a lot of people expect him to take the ball into the air on an air dribble, but with that expectation, he's really just playing the mind gaming, going the opposite way. And another shot comes out now, Typical. His shot turned away, but Arsenal, man, he is playing incredibly right now for Spacestation.
Oh, I was about to say that's actually the right move from First Killer. Does he save it? Yes, he does. Pass it one more time, and he gets the second one. Oh my gosh, a third touch from Taroko. Oh, Arsenal, that was just brilliant, but not enough. Unlucky.
Wow. Gotta love the pressure. Putting so much on him. That's like 3 shots in the box.
What can you do? What can you do? If you're Arsenal there, that was incredible stuff. Rogue, though, everyone getting involved, getting behind that play, and eventually putting it home. We're all tied up.
I think Arsenal did literally everything he possibly could,
Yeah.
just praying to a higher power. My goodness.
Some divine intervention necessary to get that third one.
This Reynolds will try to clear it out, and Arsenal extends in the midfield. Here at halftime, tied up, or just past halftime, 2-2. Nice close game number 1 of Series 2. Reminder, Space Station taking Series number 1. If they win it here in this best of 5, they advance to play G2.
Loving it. Loving the play from First Killer. You can see him getting much more controlled touches throughout the midfield. Even though he's not able to convert or set up anything, it's at least giving Rogue space to operate.
There's Taroko. It's past Arsenal, now off the ceiling. The flip reset to work with. Challenge goes neutral in the midfield. Arsenal with typical both players on the wall, and Reynolds in the midfield. I think Reynolds wasn't quite sure where to go there. Wasn't quite sure how that was going to evolve, so just falls back to his own half, which is always a good safe play.
A couple of whips there by Space Station. Then Arsenal just finishes it off with a fake, just so everyone gets involved. And I think Rogue really had to back off. Now here's an opportunity. This ball floating. See if Rogue puts something away. But right now, Space Station so good on the challenge to make sure Rogue can't get back to it.
Not a great pass from Taroko either. They had a turn on the outside and just played it straight at the defender. Here comes some pressure. It'll bump. First Killer manages to get past it and get the save. Keep us tied up.
How did he get out of that one? That one felt like almost for sure Space Station had the perfect setup. That bump coming across the box, almost blindsiding last defender, but somehow the last man in Rogue hardly even moved, and now Reynolds back the other way for Space Station. Could they put this one on target? Reynolds back up into it. Big save, though, by Turnturo.
Last man on Rogue not really moving too much because Space Station throughout the course of this game, we talk about one of the most difficult roles to play in Rocket League is second man. And it's getting even harder here because more often than not, it's that second man getting demoed in Rogue's rotation. And that's allowing Space Station to just come through and take a bunch of space and continue to put that pressure on that third man. That's why they're converting so many of these off the backboard. Here comes Reynolds. Can he spike one? And no.
Oh, he won.
Just did not really get it clean, or didn't even have the chance to execute the pass. Just not a good line.
Well, that was a juicy one, though. Arsenal had just picked up a full canister of boost. Only was able to get off the backboard, though. Overtime in game number 1. Had one overtime in the first series. Came in game 3. Now Taroko, half a tank of boost here. Lofts it. He's got a teammate in goal as he falls back. First Killer will move up. Now down to Turnturo. Up against Reynolds. Blocked in the midfield. Now Taroko with more pressure. Space Station handling it just fine. Slowly inching this ball further and further in enemy territory until now they're playing in the box.
A bit dicey there.
Turo, demo. Ooh. Nice catch, Typical. I take it all back. I thought I was going to be a little scared there for Space Station.
Typical takes it to the sky, but low on boost, tries to feather it out. First Killer now falling on this one. Arsenal onto the backboard, and Reynolds, key bump. Pushed him off the ball, but he actually ends up in position for the clear and now has it above the backboard looking for Turo, who pushes it just lightly in front of the box. Arsenal's clear. Touch just leaves it juicy as well, and Taroki manages to get a savior medal here. Minute into overtime.
That was great work from Turo just to stay behind that ball. Multiple attempts there from Space Station to muscle it through him, yet still so well positioned. Quality challenge there from Turo. Still Space Station trying to press the issue here, but Rogue doing a good job of at least stopping Space Station before they string too many passes together. See if Typical can put something together here from the corner.
There's Reynolds. Arsenal shadowing now, looking for the shot. First Killer block him.
Oh my.
A lot of pressure there on First Killer to recover quickly, huh, Corelli?
I saw all three of Rogue dropping down there. Space Station, lucky for Rogue, Space Station had no one threatening that ball, at least immediately. Rogue's struggling to get out, but here they come. Turo only into Arsenal. He might try and take this one all the way. That's a solid challenge. It's typical. No, oh, no, it gets away from him. And Taroko, he was in net, but still, maybe a spoiled chance there for Space Station.
Typical trying, but the defenders standing strong in the box so far. Rogue has been under so much duress, but when it comes to the play in the solid blue paint, they've been clean. 2:17 in overtime as Arsenal pushes it to the midfield, and Taroko will meet him. Now Reynolds Again, taking his time and falling back, given a lot of space here, and Sipical will actually be the one to take it out of the backfield.
Yeah. You saw that demo again from Arsenal right there. It was on that second man, the guy who should be taking over for that first guy, and since the third man's too far away, that opens up that space for Space Station to break out of their half again.
Here's Taroko. He's got Turinturo behind him. And here comes Turinturo. Pass 2 off the backboard again. First kill, going to rotate in for the third shot, but backs off to sees 2 players. The dunk will beat both of them, and Arsenal now has to play cleanly. They'll get an excellent clear to the backboard. First kill with a miss, and Taroko will pick up control before the game-ending goal could be scored by Space Station. They're keeping the pressure on. And here comes Reynolds. More pressure. This one going wide of the goal.
And the boost steals as well. Got to be careful if you're Rogue here. You're not going to have a lot. You need to make these next challenge count. And boy, does he. First killer off the wall, and that's just going to give Turo a good look. Reynolds up nice and early to get there and buy some extra time to try and stay on offense.
And look at the defense from Space Station. They have a man up every single time, making it very difficult for Rogue to put together even 2 touches on the ball by the same player without Space Station jumping all over them. Meanwhile, Space Station happy to just toss the ball down the field and find that outlet man. This could be the opportunity. First killer getting chased around, but he does get it out.
Got a boost though now. Turinturo trying to play the same game. Get into the Space Station box and bump goalies, but all of Space Station on the walls or on the ceiling, so they won't be found just yet. Now Arsenal and Reynolds. Here they'll finally find the ground again. Over the top of one. First killer across, and Turinturo nearly hit that into his own goal. So you rotate it out.
There's your difference. Space Station, every time they have space on their own half, always catch the ball, dribble it out. Rogue, smash the ball, try and win.
Reynolds was jumping for a block.
Even with Space Station, if they do smash it, there's usually a man downfield to catch it. And here comes Sipical. Could he go all the way? Reynolds is there, shot on target, and that'll do it. Space Station, 4 minutes and 19 seconds. And they finally take down Rogue here in the first game.
That pressure.
They could have stretched the overtime. Just go ahead.
Oh, go for it.
I was gonna say a joke, but they could have stretched the overtime one more second. It's all right. Space Station here takes the game. 4-19 there into overtime, and in a counterattack too. The thing that we were just saying, like Rogue's been this like smash, just go go go. And Space Station's been be calm, cool, and collected. They find their one spot and put the pressure on, especially with the 2v1. This is the thing we've seen from Space Station time and time again in this series. When they get the 2v1 situation, it is almost a guaranteed goal for them.
Well, and you know what's funny is we've always talked about Rogue. It's like, oh yeah, that counterattack, that quick transition from Rogue is really, really strong. But honestly, I think in most of these games, it's been Space Station who's done better. Rogue, I think, get a little bit frustrated when they can't break that defense down from Space Station. They start to get a little bit antsy, a little bit over-aggressive on some certain plays. They can't get people to come back. And then Space Station, after feeling all that pressure, I've just been kind of sitting in that box, waiting to break free, and they always have a man downfield, but they always have a good carry in the air to at least have another chance on target. So for Rogue, I think it really is trying to find that balance between when do we push hard and then when do we back off so that we don't get counterattacked by Space Station, who's done a much better job of that here than Rogue has in both these series.
Well said.
Space Station's willingness and active decision to play in their own half. Say, hey, let's keep the ball. Let's play back here. Let's always leave a player back. Is constantly giving them this really strong back line where really the only option you've got is to play Space Station's game, to get in on the demos, to try and free up that back line. And the moment Space Station's got you playing their game, they're going to beat you with experience. And so far, they're winning.
I think the key for Rogue is to just not let Space Station score so early, and they might almost have it again. Almost everybody on Rogue committing. Taroko was still coming back. But for Space Station, they have had a lot of early leads here, and it could be another one. They're threatening. Rogue getting a bit spread out. They're happy to see that one go all the way back to the Space Station side, and maybe an opportunity for Rogue.
Here's Sipical trying to fake out Taroko. Taroko waits for second touch on 2 players now. He's out of boost, but he got 2 players caught out and having to rotate out. First killer over 1. Towards the goal, here's Taroko, just barely off the crossbar. Here's Reynolds. Win 1 challenge, lose the second one, but Turinturo will pick up control. He's got Sipical and Arsenal on rotation mode. Can they find another shot? Arsenal has to go for it slowly. First killer with more pressure. This one a little bit too strong on the final touch. But Rogue with so much pressure here in the beginning of game 2.
Rogue doesn't score there, but first killer was making big challenges. I mean, if he lets any one of those get by him, Space Station's out of the cage. And there again, he's going to break up another chance. Dude's just challenge machine at the moment.
Oh, here comes Reynolds. Thinking about it, but watching Turo first. Turo on first killer. Oh, there's one net bump. No, first killer able to dodge the bumps there. One demolition onto his teammate, though. Now here comes Taroko up against Arsenal on the other end of the pitch, looking for goal number 1.
A back pass from Space Station actually plays so interesting, right? Because it looks like a defensive touch, and it is. Reynolds is going to score here. And that all goes back to, you know, Rogue trying to chase down that back pass, right? But if you think about it, that back pass just plays like Rogue just dropped a dribble, right? And they're just trying to chase it into the corner. And so they're all trying to follow their teammate up because they think, oh, there's a back pass, we have the space. You step too far forward, and then just like that, one solid clear comes through, and then you get the pressure put on you on the goal line again, and this is going to be 2-0.
Oh, man. Disaster for Rogue. And this is what we were talking about, right? We can't, if you're Rogue, you can't let Space Station get the lead so early, but then also build on that lead so quickly. And they've done this in multiple games. They get that first goal, and then all of a sudden, it's almost an automatic second goal. Space Station able to find it so quickly. And that's painful for Rogue, because now you're playing from behind, and you're playing an aggressive play style. And if it doesn't work out, it gets very, very frustrating with this type of defense. The Space Station again threatening. It's quite dangerous here on the Rogue side.
The quality of touch from Space Station right now is insurmountable. I don't think there's anything you can do, barring mass extinction here, going for extermination, just massive demolitions. I don't know what else you do to remove how good Space Station is when they're touching the ball here. Again, in front of the box. Sterntro's going to try, and Arsenal actually backs off that one. Reynolds calls him off here. Full take the boost, hoping to get some players. The bike gets 2 of them. Sterntrol all he can do is block it. And here's Arsenal. The pass out. Can they hit him on this direction? Of course they go. There we go, Reynolds.
I love that we were both thinking it a cheese.
You see, like as soon as Turo gets bumped, you already know. It's just like, oh, here comes the pass across. The dude in the net's going to get cooked. Like, we can move on.
And you pointed out, Chiefs, early on in the first series. That's the bread and butter for Space Station. Like, that is perfectly executed. We've seen them do that all season long, especially when it gets chaotic on the other side. The passing plays comes out, then that big bump opens up space, and then Space Station just has their way with you on defense. It's been so clinical from Space Station in the control of the game. Rogue just have not been able to cut off those passes.
1:48 left to go. 3-0 again for Space Station. This was the scoreline that won them the first series. With a win in game number 1 of the series number 2, currently on a 2-game streak, looking to make it 3 and be a match point and end our final series of the day promptly and prematurely. Pass back into Turo. Up against Typical through 1, and then the second touch goes neutral with first killer. Taroko airborne. He's got a few players up with him. First killer and Taroko both on that ball.
I think you're going to... Sorry, Wave, I don't mean to cut you off. I do think that you're going to start seeing a lot more of these attempts at heroic plays from Rogue, individual plays. And I think that falls into a trap perfectly, of SSG's trap, rather, because the defense has been so strong. That challenge game has been so strong from Space Station, particularly here in these last 2 games. It doesn't seem like Rogue can really get through without Space Station being in front, but maybe Taroko can change things. Turo puts it away with 50 seconds left. Rogue have a chance.
I mean, sigh of relief here, but what does it mean, right? Like, I mean, I'll give a lot of teams a solid chance with 50 seconds and 2 goals to come over. I think it's definitely doable, but you've taken Rogue as Space Station here and turned a team that is used to driving pace of play, putting pressure on you with the speed, and you've turned Rogue into a counterattacking team. And they're not a counterattacking team. It's not what they do. I don't think Rogue have a chance here to close this one out.
I mean, the majority of, we apply all the pressure does begin with a counterattack. You do counterattack and then you just keep on going. So, like, it's that the counterattack is the first step of their strategy. They're just never getting to step 2 of keep going.
Oh my gosh, First Killer's doing so much work.
He's trying, right?
He is getting demos. He is pulling Space Station around, but it's just not enough.
Is
time ticking down. It's a goal, but it's just there's just no time left. So much work there from First Killer, but Space Station hold on to run out the clock. And Rogue, I think, a bit frustrated here in that game.
You should be. I mean, honestly, this is a 1-goal game technically, but let's not mix words. You got clapped. You were down 0-3 in 50 seconds, man. Like, you're done.
It was a 2-goal game up until 0 seconds, where you managed to put one in that didn't matter. And Rogue, so interesting. Okay, they will take the tactical timeout. This did not work last time, but we'll see what difference it makes again.
It's all they got, Wave. You can't take it away from them.
No, it's absolutely. It's the only play. It's the only play they've got.
Oh, you can see. Gosh, I feel like Gabe is such a good mind for the game, right? He's just sitting there like rubbing the eyebrow, like, oh, jeez, man, I don't even know. Like,
yeah. I think you can kind of see the frustration though on everyone's face. I mean, that it has been a tough series for Rogue, and again, I think it just goes back to quite simply, Space Station has done a better job at denying multiple touches on the ball. Every single time a Rogue player gets on the ball, a Space Station player is right on top of them. I mean, in an instant. And when Rogue tries to dish it off, the next man goes for Space Station. And that challenge game has been so strong, where Rogue, I think, they benefit off of being so quick and being so tricky on the ball and sneaky with it to beat that first man. Space Station has not faltered in that way that most teams have, and it has been a rock solid shape behind their midfield line. The shape of Space Station has been so strong here in both series.
And additionally, like, they're breaking up any quality touch that Rogue is able to get by being constantly on top of them, like you said. Their macro positioning is near
stunning.
Perfect. Yes,
you don't have a counter to it. I mean, you've got demos up front.
And when you combine that with the quality of touch that Rogue is putting up, the amount of times where their touches are functioning as a clear slash pass, it's not just one or the other. They're always finding the ball. I'm getting this out of my half and to you, or I'm backing up off of the enemy wall and pushing it across the box. You put those three things together, and that's how you get this, like, we feel like they're, like, Space Station is outclassing Rogue.
Oh yeah, now it's outplay. First series was, outthink, outposition. Series 2 right now feels like straight outplay. Like, oh.
We'll see how Rogue can turn things around here. First, with a strong first touch on the wall.
I'm curious if it really is just as simple as don't get demoed. I'm curious to see if they just don't get hit, if it makes any difference.
I don't know, because like we've been seeing First Killer dodging demolitions in goal quite a bit. He's staying alive, but I feel like just even the having to run away from the demolitions is pushing them out of position.
Wow. Both teams having quick chances here. Again, that's the second time I've seen him air dribble over everybody, and Arsenal almost getting a hand on it and putting it in. It's good work, though, from Rogue to keep these first initial attacks out from Space Station. They seem to be hot off the kickoff. Here comes Arsenal. Can he get through? Good work from First Killer to deny that.
That's a great lead.
Oh, let's go.
Could be it. That's a wide open net for First Killer to tap it in. And Rogue finally starting off on the right foot here.
This pass is an absolute dime from Turnturo.
Wow.
It's not a very big seam, or at least it doesn't seem like one, but the pace of that touch is really what makes the difference. It's really easy to get that one slightly too far left to where Turo can't cut in and have a clean line, or to just hit it way too soft and hit it behind him and let Space Station circle back around, or hit it way too hard right at First Killer and again give him no line. I mean, that's just a beautiful, beautiful pass out from Turo.
This is best case scenario now for Rogue, especially after giving up so many early goals in the last few games to Space Station. Rogue finally on the board. Maybe they're cooking here. Space Station feeling that pressure, and maybe a little bit more here in this game. Here comes First Killer again, looking for a second touch. First Killer all the way. Highlight play for him, and Rogue double up.
Gotta love the confidence here. First Killer up, and he hits it and does immediately turns on the boost to get back to that. Oh, the marginal play. Brilliant stuff. 2-0 Rogue.
You want to know why pros are so good? It's because they already know as soon as they make contact where they need to start boosting to catch the double tap. And everyone else is sitting here like, hang on, I need to see a bounce first.
Yeah. And it bounces like, well, okay, cool. If I had turned my car half a second ago,
could have got it.
Too bad. First Killer also with a savior medal here.
Oh, he got
bumped. Looking for another one. They had a flight, but got tangled up with a teammate in midfield.
Okay,
wow.
it's a goal anyway.
Okay.
Who cares? It's a goal anyway. Who cares?
Wow.
How did this even happen? I mean, Sypical's right there. Okay, he's trying to lift that back towards Rogue's half. That's Sypical's plan. It's get that, backwards tip down into the orange corner, reset yourself, kicks it straight off the ceiling though, and just not in a good set position for anybody to have a follow-up that fast from Rogue.
Maybe it's a new Rogue here. 3 minutes left to play, but they're up by 3-0. Comfortable lead now, and maybe they can make it 4. First killer, tough angle. This one coming across, and Space Station are able to get it out. And now we look to Space Station to see how they play behind, because they really haven't had this scenario too often in this entire set.
Now, this is the classic bait game though, where one team, game 3 in a best of 5 where one team has won the first 2 games, is the situation where there's the biggest kind of mental ratio, where one team is like, we have to win, and the other team's like, we got this. And so we have time. In a 3-1 scoreline, game 3 is most often the game that the other team will win. So the one that gets won by the losing team will be game 3. So it's I don't know. It's as good as this is, as they're going to put in a 4th one here. This is the important first step. Game 4 is going to be the real question for me.
So what do you guys want to talk about for 2 minutes? I'm actually curious post game. I want to see what that demo slider looks like. I want to see how many space stations got here.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because it's been, and I feel like it's slowed down here in game 3. But which is one of the things, I think it was you, Chiefs, that said, like, if they can just dodge the demolitions, maybe that's the key.
I was wondering, is it really just as simple as don't get hit? Is that really it?
Another one? Wow.
Gosh, they're just going to blow them up here. This one's just going to get out of hand. It's a go next situation. I'm not really sure what happened here. I think for Rogue, they burst out of the gates stronger than they did in previous games. The Space Station just kind of letting this one go. I think Space Station, like you said, they know Wave. They got some time. A 5-0 scoreline with 1:40 seconds is highly unlikely in the comeback scenarios. Statistically, at least.
Some would say.
I'd be stunned. I think we might have seen 4 one time.
One time. I think there's been a 4-0. It's man, what a way to make a statement though, right? Like,
I mean, look, it's good. It's working for Rogue.
Oh, it's 6.
Let's make it 6.
Look at them all. They're all there. There's nobody from Space Station back.
The flying V.
It really was. Everyone rotating out from Space Station. I think they're just kind of forcing the issue now for Space Station. See if they can get one. It really doesn't matter. 6-0 with 1:17 is, it's a win for Rogue at this point. And for Space Station,
hold on.
What?
I just need to point out, it's a 6-0 for first killer here. Well, he has 4 of the goals. He doesn't have all 6 goals, but he has 1,001 score, and there's a minute left to go because he has 4 saves as well. That's an outlier of a stat.
Oh, he's actually been putting in a great defensive performance. I think in the previous game he also had 4 or 5 saves. So first killer has really been getting it done on both sides of the ball, if we're being honest. And I mean, he's definitely. We definitely started taking note of it in game 2 of this series, where he really tried to turn on the Jets and try and take a game over. So could be why, but to be honest, I honestly think he's better served playing offense. You need to have Turo and Taroko make the big stops on defense.
And to be fair, I think he's found himself in that third man position a lot here against Space Station in this particular set, because it just feels like Space Station, with so many challenges going their way, or at least stalling. You force the Rogue players back, and first killer is usually a first or second man downfield. When he rotates out, he's kind of stuck in this third man position, waiting to see how the challenges will go for his teammates. So it's been unpredictable for him, but when he's unleashed like this, all of a sudden Rogue come alive, and man, they look strong and blowing out Space Station here in this game.
I mean, when we get into the scoreboard here, just take a look at the score discrepancy. Yes, it's not. First killer has over 1,000 points. That's notable in and of itself. What's also notable is how little points everybody else has. First killer said, "I'm frustrated at losing games. I'm going to control the pitch from beginning to end and take that win for Rogue."
That's why first killer's #1 in the spring split for a score per game at 455, because every now and again he just puts up the 1,000-pointer casually. But there have been times first killer You know, I think it was sometime in winter or maybe the start of spring where I was just like, I don't know, first killer's like an 8. And I think he's trying to activate first killer's a 10 mode right now, you know?
An important time to do it when you are one game away from being eliminated from the championships here. So we'll see. Again, so I said this in the middle of the game. Game 3 is the one where the mental lapse happens for the team that's winning oftentimes here. You know, Spacestation is going, okay, that wasn't fun getting just obliterated. Let's actually play Rocket League now. Completely new game here, new situation. I expect to see a different Spacestation here in game 4.
Certainly. I mean, that's exactly what I was about to go and rant about. Is I don't think there's anything to say about that last game for Spacestation. It's just, okay, bad game, here we go. It was just a bad game from Spacestation. They have looked good this entire set. They just need one more. See if they can come out a little bit stronger here and not let Rogue run away so quickly.
There you go. Burrow making the critical touch, starting to get out in front of some of these challenges.
There's Taroko to the outside for first killer.
They look like Spacestation on defense. Traps, passes to their teammates, clears. What?
Interesting time to have a big change. Oh, there's a touch. First killer's there for it. And Reynolds tries to get back in time, but no, first killer's touch is still good.
They look like Rogue on offense at Chiefs, and Sirocco puts one hard on target. That was a great work by Sipical. He almost got back to it. And Reynolds also making the save. But like you were saying, I mean, Spacestation were trying to bring the ball down there, but they just got away from him. And then that's when Rogue bites. And we've seen that a couple times from Rogue here in these first couple series where Rogue just come through on just slow advances from Spacestation from their own side.
Aaron Terrell off of his backboard, connects with first killer, and we'll get the clear caddy corner. First killer will get the demolition on the Sipical. Free up some space on the ball. Terrell will try to take over control, but Arsenal gets it over the top of him, and Taroko will have to pick it up out of his goal. A Sipical soft touch to Reynolds. That one just maybe behind his teammate. And they'll expend a lot of boost trying to recover on that play rather than just falling back. And Rogue putting more pressure on. Whew, nearly got him.
First killer. Oh, man. He is finding an extra gear here, just continuously trying to make Spacestation second guess themselves on defense. Flip reset over the top of one. He wants the bump on Sipical, and he's just a little short. Could have been something pretty. You knew Reynolds was coming in behind him, but Rogue fighting to retain possession here at the midline. I think they're going to have to give a little ground. Reynolds redirect chance, and yep, that's going to get first killer. I think he had no boost, or I'm wondering why he ran up the back of the net here. He has 100. What's he doing?
Yeah, that's Spacestation moving downfield and putting a good shot on target. And maybe, a bad choice by the last man in making that save, but I think he was expecting it to come a little bit faster. And for Spacestation Gaming, able to get back into this one, tie it up.
And a big, important goal for Spacestation as well, after the letting 7 goals in uninterrupted, no matter what statistics and likelihoods say. Letting in an 8th one would start to become a problem, and here will be an 8th goal, but the breakup there definitely going to change up the momentum a bit as Taroko finds the howitzer here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they just catch Arsenal right there. Arsenal's not doing anything wrong, to be honest. It's just there was no delay out in the midfield. That kind of just got tapped straight down, and just a bomb from your own half to see if it bears any fruit, and Arsenal just not having enough time to get back on defense safely.
And Wave, going back to your point in the previous game, you talk about Spacestation knowing they have some games to give here, but all of a sudden now, Rogue looking stronger and stronger. First killer really tuning up here. You start to wonder what the mental.
Don't want to go into a third set.
Exactly.
Sure.
That starts creeping into your head a little bit, and Spacestation certainly have the mental to keep the head on their shoulders here, but you don't want Rogue to run away with it, and Rogue poking their heads out again into the lead. Spacestation, though, still threatening here on the Rogue side. That one will eventually be turned away. A good shot, though, by Reynolds. First killer gets up.
Off the corner. 2 minutes left to go in game 4, excuse me. A win here from Rogue would send us into game 5, them nearly with a reverse sweep completed. Reynolds now back down, and first killer will just go for the block. Terrell will pick up ball control on the space given. There's Arsenal. Reynolds gonna have to fall back as Arsenal gets bumped off the ball, and Turn will pick it up. Tag team control here is Rogue trying to get out of their half, and Taroko not really in a great spot and out of boost. Hit his brakes, made matters worse. Turn through one, and now Reynolds picking it up, and the cherry pick gets able to dodge the demolition on the retreat. We'll see Arsenal pick it up out of his own half.
I'm liking Space Station's approach. It doesn't feel too rushed. I mean, it definitely seems like they're trying to focus on getting a nice quality touch on the ball, pass out to Arsenal, just dump it off, and see if they can just slowly work their way back into a decent spot. But time becomes a factor. You got to make the aggressive push at some point, and that's a nice setup from Sipical with a good challenge to give him a chance to stay on offense here. Dish out to Arsenal and met by first killer.
Sipical. 4 seconds left. Arsenal's there. Off the goal line. It bounces. First killer clears it away.
And that was a great effort there from Arsenal, because that was tough to get over to put down. It was a very tough situation, and that was putting it on the goal line. It's about as good as you could get here. And now a couple good challenges from Space Station. Time running out here in this game. They need to put something together.
20 seconds left. Rogue trying to force game 5. Off the corner. They're holding on to control. Taroko chasing it down to Sipical to clear to the outside. Turo in the midfield, rotating, keeping this pressure in the orange. Space Station with a 2-game lead in the series. Are about to drop it entirely. We're going to go to a decisive game 5. Reynolds trying to get out to Arsenal. Keeps it alive. Sipical's there. Reynolds on the outside too. They've got positioning for it, but no, not able to keep it off the ground. Rogue come back alive and force game 5.
Battling. Well played to Rogue here. Both teams actually took a very, very calm, cool, collected approach, I would say, with the 1-goal differential there. I actually liked Space Station's approach. To be honest, they got their chance. It was just Arsenal wasn't quite able to turn in, Corelli, what you said. You're absolutely right. A really tough ask. I mean, you needed to be perfectly timed, I think, to have a chance at it, but Rogue hold them off, and they got lucky there with the bomb. That's the difference maker.
We've seen that a couple times from Rogue. Both teams have done it. Actually, we even saw it in Europe as well. A lot of teams getting caught out by these long clears. A lot of assumptions go into the challenge. A lot of assumptions go into who's on the ball, and you don't really expect it to just be thrown downfield. And both teams here, and even in previous games before, in series before, teams getting caught out. That play has been working quite a bit at the highest level right now.
Well, into Rising game 5. A win here for Space Station ends the set.
Ooh, that's in.
1-2, but first killer going in for the bumps. Arsenal manages to dodge the bump and get the clear, and now looking for a counterattack.
I spoke too soon. I thought Turo was just going to smash that into the net, but he kind of just dripped it towards the goal line, and that's a big miss as well. It's going to let Reynolds right back into it. Wants the back post shot. Actually not that bad of an idea. Try and catch Rogue diving to the near post there. A little shimmy shake from Arsenal forces first killer to stick it close to the hood, and Rogue really struggling early on here in game 5, but they hold fast.
There's like a reverse magnetic field on the ball. Rogue can't touch it. Reynolds will try to take control and turn Turo to push it away. Back towards the goal, and Taroko finds the clear, looking for first killer on the outside. Back down and in. Arsenal coming out of goal, take control, manages to muscle through one player. Now Taroko versus Sipical. Taroko will get to the ball first. Play it high. First minute going to come and go, but with both teams having marginal opportunities. This one bouncing dangerous. First killer gets away before Arsenal can get there.
You do not like the clear game from Rogue at the start of this game 5. It's working, but it's making you kind of second guess yourself a little bit, I would say. So clean that up a little bit. You need to look a little more stable on defense, because the last thing you want is to make one mistouch and have Space Station come in and start that early lead again that they've played so well off of in this match.
Bumps in net. Turn on the outside. Nice outfield pass. Sipical gets up in time. Play it away. Now back down. Sipical looking for Arsenal, but covered up, and suddenly the speed on Rogue picking up. They're getting the balls over and over again more quickly than Space Station's able to.
Haven't seen a goal yet, and usually by now one of these teams has scored. That was a big opportunity for Reynolds, but I think it's going to be a very tense game 5 here. Space Station wavering a little bit to Rogue in this series, but certainly still into it. That's a great pass. Taroko, his shot is high and turned away by Sipical.
There's Sirocco in the midfield line, stalling it by lofting the ball in the air. Typical going to try and take it. Turnturo nearly had the read as he picks up the midfield boost and rotates back out. 2:40 on the clock. Approaching halftime. Reynolds trying to get back to this one. Turnturo takes it away from him, and Sipical will take control. Blasts to the backboard. Force First Killer up high to play to the outside.
That's actually a beautiful clear from First Killer. I mean, you're tracking the ball over your shoulder. You know it's going to bounce off the backboard. You need to have that perfect trajectory. He's going to smash one towards the goal, back the other way, and oh man, he's lighting Space Station up.
Jason doesn't want to lose. What a shot. They're coming off the sidewall as well, and two players from Space Station going up for that one and still can't turn that one away. Just getting all of the ball on that shot as well. Rogue up 1-0.
What did Dad say? You don't even say First Killer, you just say Jason. He's that good.
It has been the First Killer show for Rogue here in Series 2. And 2:05 on the clock. They're up by 1, trying to force a third series.
Through 1. Reynolds was going to get that flip reset. Here comes Sipical just dancing over the defenders. It's wide open if Reynolds can put it away. Easy shot for him, and Space Station tie it up.
Sipical stalls long enough to get the miscommunication out of the team. Turnturo and First Killer both go for it.
Yeah. That's you hate that.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel it's so rare to see a communication error forced by slow play. Usually,
that's the thing. So like that's a slow air dribble, man. You guys are fine. One of you is definitely gonna get there. Just figure out who it is.
And Rogue drop their lead. Can they get it back? Sipical and Turoko. Turnturo and Turoko, rather, bumping into each other as Sipical try to dribble down the field. But Rogue will take control again. Turnturo trying. Now Turoko towards the goal. Sipical to Arsenal on the outside. First Killer to stall this. No, chases it down. He's got Reynolds underneath him. Gets a pass too.
Good challenge by Reynolds. He knew First Killer was going to get back to that one. Didn't just expect First Killer just to give him the ball for free. Certainly going to chase after it, as he should in that situation. Now an opportunity. Wow. As Reynolds very quickly closes that gap. Here's Turo. He gets over. He's got it. Can he get it again? Ooh. Turo, a second touch. Arsenal to clear it away. And now here comes Reynolds. Can he go over Turoko? Gets the ball out of the way, but First Killer makes the save. And Rogue back the other way.
I just want Turo to score because I want to see another series. It's been a lot of fun watching this one come back around.
35 seconds left. They've got a tie game. Can they get the lead back? Do we go to overtime? Turnturo. Here through 1. Reynolds trying to end things now and force a match against Envy. We're through 1. First Killer. High over the top. Reynolds gonna try Turoko demolish. 10 seconds left though. And in corner here is First Killer trying to rotate around in the midfield. 2 seconds left. And we'll go to overtime. Overtime in Game 5. Next goal. So important for both teams.
Much greater care being taken for Rogue here with the ball. Much less prone to bombing it away and just trying to beat Space Station to a challenge. Really trying to take care of possession here because they know that's the end-all, be-all at the moment. Arsenal flip reset stalled out by First Killer.
Oh, there comes Turoko. Lots of boost committing to the play. Reynolds going to counter him. Now through 2. First Killer in goal. His turn. Turo tries to buy time in the midfield. Oh, a demolition on a Turoko on the back line. But First Killer, what a pre-jump. And then the block. Arsenal trying to get the pass to Reynolds. He won't do it. Reynolds puts it in. Space Station advance.
Look at the pop-off from the young man. Reynolds jumping up in his chair. Huge win here for Space Station Gaming. What a rocket from Reynolds to put this one away. 34 seconds of overtime, and Space Station Gaming take the set.
And that's the reason it goes in, too. I mean, Reynolds is staring down the barrel of 2 defenders. They know a shot's coming, but he absolutely squared it up. Took ball cam off. Let that ball travel in front of him so he could really nail that one with the timing and the placement as well. Straight over the head of the guys. Can't have any time to cover distance. Oh, money for Reynolds. What a shot to close it out.